To can, we're going to need certain supplies, so you may have to go shopping. One of the things we're going to need are jars that have lids and rims, and you can pick the size of jar you want. I'm going to get half-pint jars for my jam. And you will need a canner. I already had a large stainless steel stock pot, and so I just got a rack to put inside. If you don't have that, you could just buy the canner that comes with the rack already. This canner with rack was under $20. I also used the jar lifter, kind of like a giant tongs, and it is very necessary. The funnel is very helpful. All this is kind of a big investment, but if you're planning to do a lot of canning, all this will be used over and over again. The only thing that needs to be replaced would be the little jar lids that are not that expensive. First, we put water into the canner. And you want to estimate that it's going to be at least an inch above the canning jars. I also put another saucepan on the stove to boil so that I will have boiling water to top off the canner in case I don't have enough water. Turn on the heat, and once it boils, we can sterilize our jars. We put the jars onto the rack and lower them into the boiling water. Make sure all the jars are under the water. Bring it to a boil and then boil them at least 10 minutes or longer. Meanwhile, I cover my cutting board with a large towel so that I'll have a place to put my hot jars when they come out of the water. When I'm ready to pour the water out, I don't want to pour it this way because it's going to want to travel on that handle. I'm going to turn it so there's space between here, nothing to connect you and the boiling water. And then we're going to put it on my towel over here. Then we put the rack up and it hooks on the edge. The hot jars are ready to receive the hot jam. Here's my canning funnel, which is a very big help. We'll fill these jars up to the bottom of that rim, which will give it an inch headspace. Clean the top of the rim with a paper towel, so when the lid goes on, it will be ready to seal. Lid, rim. If the last jar isn't full, you can just put that one in the refrigerator. Make sure the rack is up. And now we're going to lower the hot jam into the boiling water. And we're going to put the jars across from each other. So it will help balance that. So the next one will go right here. If you only have small jars and you don't have enough to put one in the middle, that's not a problem. Now carefully lower the jars into the hot water. I'm adding boiling water to make sure that there's a full inch of boiling water above the jar tops. Put the lid on, and then we're going to watch for that to return to boil. Once it's boiling, we set the timer for 10 minutes to process. Okay, now that they've processed, lift the rack and lock in place. Now we can pull these out one at a time, and then we're going to set that on the towel. As they begin to cool, you will hear a snap, and that snapping means that the lid is sealing. I heard one snap already. It looks like that one did. Oh, it just did. That's just fun. Once they're sealed, this is going to be tight. If this one has a little bulge on it yet, that means it's not sealed. There it went. If there are any lids with bulges, put those in the refrigerator since they did not seal. Okay, now you know how to can jam. Unfortunately, there's all kinds of different rules for different kinds of ingredients. One is, if it's a low acid ingredient, it has to use a pressure canner. And also, the times that you're going to process is going to be different for each ingredient. Best thing to do is check out a good cookbook or look it up online. I have a good link below that gives some good information from the University of Minnesota.
Okay, Iowa Mom, you can't can, but can you can?
No video on that one. But if you want to see other videos, go to youtube.com/an Iowa Mom videos. Then click on the video tab for a whole list.